This is Full Johnston and Packet Tracer Activity 8412, our Skills Integration Challenge. So let's go ahead and you can look at the routing table right here. And let's go ahead and configure our router A to start off with. So do enable, configure terminal, interface G0/0, IP address 172.31.0.1 with subnet mask of 255.255.254.0. No shut, so make sure to turn it on. And then you're going to do interface S0/0/0, IP address 172.31.4.1 with subnet mask of 255.255.255.252. No shut. And then our next step is we're going to do Ipv4 Ospf. So let's do the router Ospf 1, and we're going to do router ID 1.1.1.1 and network 172.31.0.0 with wildcard mask of 0.0.1.255 area 0. And we're also going to do another network 172.31.4.0. This is for our serial interface, so it's 0.0.0.3 area 0. Then we're going to do passive interface G0/0, and then you can do copy run start. Then let's go on to our next router. So the first one's Ipv4, the second one will be Ipv4 and Ipv6, and then our third one will be only Ipv6. So do enable, configure terminal, and then we're going to do Ipv6 Unicast routing. Do interface G0/0, and I do like to do the Unicast routing first thing, then that way you don't forget about it later. Let's do IP address 172.31.2.1 with subnet mask of 255.255.254.0. Do no shut to make sure to turn on the ports. Do Ipv6 address 2001:1:1/64. And do Ipv6 address FE80:1 link local. Then we're going to do interface S0/0/0, IP address 172.31.4.2 with subnet mask of 255.255.255.252. And do no shut. Even if you do no shut with just 2 letters, it still works. So let's go ahead and do interface S0/0/1. Do Ipv6 address let's get this all lined up here. IP address of 2001:2:1/64. No shut. Exit. And we're going to do Ipv4 first for router Ospf 1. Router ID of 2.2.2.2. Network 172.31.2.0 with wildcard mask of 0.0.1.255 area 0. Let's go ahead and go down here a little bit more. network 172.31.4.0 wildcard mask. This is for our serial part. 0.0.0.3 area 0 passive interface G0/0 exit. Now we're going to do IPv6 version of the same thing. So IPv6 version Ospf 1. Actually, I need to put router in there. Router. So IPv6 router Ospf 1. Router ID 2.2.2.2. So you do have to repeat yourself a little bit there. To exit interface G0/0. Now in here you're basically going to activate the IPv6 version. So IPv6 Ospf 1 area 0, and then do interface S0/0/1 IPv6 Ospf 1 area 0. And you can do end, and you can do your copy run start. Now let's go ahead and go to router C. Enable configure terminal. We'll do our IPv6 Unicast routing interface G0/0 IPv6 address 2001 db8 colon 3 colon 1 /64. We're going to do IPv6 address fe80 colon 3 link dash local no shut and interface S0/0/0 IPv6 address 2001 colon db8 colon 2 colon 2 /64 no shut exit IPv6 router Ospf 1 router ID. So we're in an IPv6 version. So we're going to do a router ID of 3.3.3.3. Exit. Now we have to activate it in our interfaces. So interface S0/0/0 IPv6 Ospf 1 area 0. And then we also want to do the same thing for our interface G0/0. Do IPv6 Ospf 1 area 0. And that should cover all the bases here. Now we gotta set up our PC. So let's get to our PCA. Do the IP configuration here. It's 172, and it's only getting IPv4. So 172.31.1.254, subnet mask, a 255.255.254.0, default gateway of 172.31.0.1. Even though it shows this here, you can't access it through IPv6. You can only do IPv4 for this network. So this network will not be able to access that one because this one will be IPv6 only, and that one's going to be IPv4 only. Now let's go ahead and set up our PCB. IP address of 172.31.3.254. Subnet mask of 255.255.254.0. And default gateway of 172.31.2.1. an IPv6 address of 2001 colon DB8 colon 1 colon 2 / 64, then link local address of FE80 colon 201 colon 63 FF colon FE21 colon 5A3. And then our default gateway is going to be FE80 colon 1. Let's go ahead and go to our PCC. And here it's only going to be in this area. IPv6 address of 2001 DB8 colon 3 colon 2 / 64, and then do FE80 colon 20 D colon VD FF colon FE B9 colon 29 A9, and default gateway of FE80 colon 3. And that should be everything within here. So let's go ahead and ping our PCB from PCA since it has IPv4 and IPv6. Let's go to our command prompt here. So we're going to be pinging 172.31.3.254. And just like you see in here, if you do ping the IPv6, it will time out. And you'll always have a timeout in the first one here with IPv4 because it has to create the ARP table. So we know that one's correct. Now in router B, we're going, actually our PCB, we're going to close this out and we're going to go to our command prompt. And we will go ahead and ping our PCC. So we're going to ping 2001 colon DB8 colon 3 colon 2. And there we are. We know everything works. So we know that all works, and then if you go to our actual packet tracer activity here and check a result, it says you successfully completed it. You get 100 out of 100. And everything is successful.